Hey everybody, how's it going? So today I wanted to talk about an experience that I had on Google about 11 years ago that told me exactly what kind of company they are. This comes up because of a video that Eli the computer guy had sent me that I want to delve into a little bit here. But first I got to give the backstory. So 11 years ago is around when I started my business, around mid-November of 2008. I was buying and reselling Apple products, buy broken, sell fixed, hopefully make 50 to 150 bucks each one, maybe more if I got a good deal. And I wanted to find a way around using eBay for it. So I found out that I could use Google Checkout to accept credit cards. And I had sold these machines, 2 of these machines actually, and I had posted the tracking numbers, emailed the customers. They were all happy with the transaction. And one day, before the customer receives their device, I get this really strange email saying that not only have the customers been refunded, but my account has been closed for reasons that they're not able to, specific reasons that they cannot disclose to me. And I thought this was kind of strange. I wasn't a fan of it because I had just shipped these priority mail. I can't call the post office and say return these 2 laptops. And this was back during a time when the $500 or $600 that each one of those machines went for meant a lot to me. As I said, I started my business with about $250 worth of stuff, $250 worth of cash. So buying machines on credit, and if I wound up having to eat that's the kind of thing that if you're broke and starting out with nothing, that could put you off a year or 2, and that could just screw up everything. So I called the customers and I asked what was going on, and they said, "Oh yeah, we have no knowledge of this. I have no idea what you're talking about. But I'd be more than happy to send you the money via PayPal." And they wound up sending the money via PayPal, and it was good. Now, this really bothered me, and this was back during a time when I had a lot more time than I did money. So usually when you're far along in your business, you have money, but you don't have time to do things. Whereas when you're starting out, you have no money, but you have a lot of time. So I had a lot of time to do things like curse at fucking Uber drivers that are the wrong way in the bike lane. But as addition to that, I also had time to figure out how to really mess with Google on this, because they screwed me and they refused to tell me why they had banned my accounts. So I did a lot of research and I found that there was I forget what governmental agency, keep in mind this is like 11 years ago, but I figured that you had to have some sort of license or certification or something, or you had to have something on file in order to be a company that offers merchant services to businesses. So if you want to allow businesses to process credit cards, you have to be on file somewhere. And I figured out where that was, and I complained to the licensing body. And after I did that, I heard back from Google, and they kind of did what you did when you were a kid, writing book reports in 8th grade for your summer reading. Like, you don't read the book. You're not going to waste the 2 months a year that you're not in prison reading the crap that the school gives you. You rephrase the Spark Notes or the Cliff Notes. You rewrite them in your own words. And that's what they did. They took their canned response and they essentially had someone at Google rewrite the canned response in their own words and said, we're sorry for this inconvenience, but unfortunately due to security reasons, we cannot tell you the security reason that we got rid of your account. No answer. So I said, you know what? No, I got to figure this out. Now, the other thing I figured out is that with whatever body I reached out to, again, I don't remember. This is 11 years ago. But they had a phone number on file. What I learned is that in order to accept or offer merchant services to businesses, you need to have a phone number on file with either the city or the state government. And I found the phone number that Google had on file, and I called them. This is like a weekday. It's sunny outside. This is not a holiday. And it beeps and hangs up on me. Not beep and voicemail, beeps and hangs up on me. I call it back a different day, beeps and hangs up on me. I call it back the next week. It gives me some sort of chattering fax machine rubbish and then hangs up on me. And that's the moment that I figured out what kind of company Google is. It's because the thing is, providing shitty customer service or stuff like that, that's normal. I'm not going to say that I like it, but I understand why it happens. If you have something like a bank account that you keep $20 in, if you have an ISP, I remember back when I first got high-speed DSL, I was paying something like $35 a month back in the day. If you're paying $30 a month for a service, you don't really have the budget to have a highly skilled person spend hours on the phone with you. So I get it. Yeah, I don't like it, but I get it. You're going to have to deal with a phone tree. You're going to have to deal with somebody that barely speaks English. You're going to have to deal with somebody that hates their job or is in high school and really ice. It was 64 degrees yesterday, and there's ice right before you get on the bridge. Only in New York. And why does it cost so much to live here? And I understand that it's going to cost, that due to the amount of money you're making off of me not being a lot, I can't expect that type of white glove service from you. But I'm at the very least used to the fact that there is a way. If I'm willing to tolerate going through a phone tree and going through having to speak to tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, wait on hold for an hour, get back to you in a day, that I could reach a human being. And with Google, they figured out how to get into the merchant services business and actually circumvent the law to where they were able to give a phone number that didn't even work. That's ballsy. That's seriously ballsy. It would be like if I gave information when I signed up for my business license that was completely wrong. Somebody called me out on it, and I got to keep my license. So anyway, since I had a lot of time, I filed a complaint again. And I said, not only did I not get a right answer, but the number that they have on file with you doesn't even work. And I wound up checking back 6 months later. And 6 months later, I saw that they had the same phone number on file, and it still didn't work. And there was no follow-up on the report. Now, obviously, there had to be a human working at Google somewhere for this, because right after I filed my initial report, I got a response back within a day. So I filed a governmental complaint. Somebody at Google apparently responds to these types of things. But the interesting thing is that they figured out that we can break the law, we can do business in a manner that is not actually legal, and we don't actually, it's not just we can offer shitty support for this service, we don't have to offer any support for this service when we're dealing with transferring of people's money. And the red pill moment for me there with Google was realizing that even in businesses that make money, even when Google is doing something that is profitable, again, merchant services is profitable. Other companies, even though if I dislike them, fine. Even other companies, you have your Inuit Merchant Solutions, Chase Payment Tech, PayPal, you can call them. These are companies that make billions of dollars off of merchant services. But these are companies that you can call and speak to, even if it sucks. And Google got into that profitable business and said, no, we're going to disrupt this, but we're going to disrupt it in a way where there's no human contact if you have this type of issue. So why do I bring this up? Well, Eli, the computer guy, linked me to a video by this guy, Markiplier. And it was a video about emoticons. Apparently, he was doing live streams, and he has these custom-looking emoticons. Like, I think it's a green paddle for voting yes, or a red paddle for voting no. I don't know exactly what he was doing in his streams. It's something to do with voting, or which way you go when you're playing the video game, or do this or not do this, something like that. And if you use the emoticons in the manner that he asked you to, Google would ban you, not just on YouTube. You would not just get banned on YouTube for using an emoticon on a live stream. They would actually delete your entire Google account, or ban your entire Google account. So if you were using that Gmail to keep track of people you were going to meet up with while traveling, gone. You were using Google Calendar, that is also gone. Any other Google apps you're using, gone. You want to answer questions people are sending you on your Google Maps business listing so that people know where you are and that you exist, gone. And some of these people decided, okay, this must clearly be a mistake. Google did something wrong. I'm sure they'll fix it, right? Let me appeal to a human. They do their appeal, and it's still denied after an actual human looks and sees that your entire Google account was deleted because you used an emoticon of a paddle on a stream. Again, we're not talking about a free speech issue here. We're not talking about, well, you know, I find this politically acceptable and you don't. We're not talking about trans, race issues, economics, women's issues, and, you know, men's rights activism, or any sort of other thing where there's serious contention and arguments, immigration and stuff like that. We're talking about a green paddle for yes and a red paddle for no. And Google's system is such absolute utter garbage that even after having normal people look at the appeals, it was set up in a manner where those normal people looking at the appeal said, absolutely, that person using green and red paddles deserves to have their Gmail, their Google Maps, their calendar destroyed. Now, many people wonder and say, I can't believe that Google did this. I can't believe that this is the way they do business. And I'm not surprised at all. I have a Gmail account, but that's a throwaway account. I do all my business on my regular account with my web host. And even though I would have much better web interface and way better spam protection than I do using, Thunderbird with my web host and their crap spam filter that works like shit. I use it I use it anyway because I don't want Google having control over anything in my life. I try to avoid using Google Calendar for anything that is important to me. I made sure that I was listed on many websites in addition to just the standard Google and Yelp. I remember back in 2009 or 10, if any of you were keeping track of my blog and website back then, probably not, I remember posting, because the O group, when you type the Rossman group into Google, it would show you the O group maps. It would actually, and my reviews, it would say like, great MacBook screen repair by Rossman for this business called the O group, which was some graphics design or something firm like that was nearby. And also my reviews were showing up on a Japanese noodle restaurant. People are very surprised at the fact that Google has no concept or care to interface with humans. But even 11 years ago they were doing this. And the thing that's interesting is that while deleting your Google account is not illegal, it's shitty, it's not illegal, while banning you from YouTube for using an emoticon is not illegal, listing a phone number that doesn't actually work or filing that as your contact number with the government as a merchant services provider that's handling people's money, that is. And they didn't care. And they didn't change it months after I reported them for it, and nobody followed up with it. And the reason I bring this up is just to really hammer home the fact that Google does not care about any of you. Listen to them honk as if it's going to actually fix anything. And the reason that I pay the $950 or $1,000 per year for Vimeo, and the reason that I push consistently in my videos that people check me out there rather than on YouTube, is because this is the way they treat people. You can have a business person that just showed up on a Markiplier stream and posted the emoticons the way he asked you to post them. Not porn, not racist shit, not political stuff, emoticons. And have the entirety of what you've done erased, gone. And the thing is, the fact that they've gotten bigger, the fact that Google has made more money off of this kind of model, show that they've been rewarded for it. They're never going to want to change any of this. And I could hear the Scott Galloways of the world cheering something like this, not happy that people lost their data, but as one of the individuals that I've heard is pro the argument of breaking up a lot of these companies. What better argument do you have for breaking up Google and YouTube and other businesses into their own separate businesses than the fact that some dumbass at YouTube actually has the ability to destroy your Google Calendar, your business email, and your business listing? Like my reviews, the fact that I show up on Google Places, all that stuff. Why should somebody at Google, because of what happens in a live stream, have any say over that? And I saw that there was this one person from Google commenting on Reddit. That's the point I was tying together here. He was commenting on Reddit about how, no, you don't understand, we do care. We do care, it's just we have such a high volume of this stuff that it's going to get missed and blah, 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 blah. And he was saying, yeah, this is not great, but here's why it happened and why it's probably going to happen again and why it's normal. The reason that I don't have the sympathy for that I usually would is because I saw how Google dealt with the merchant services business. Because the merchant services business, unlike YouTube, is a business where you can see what it's like from other vendors. So with YouTube, If someone says, well, YouTube is unique because we process more video than anybody else in the world, and we have more people uploading videos to this platform than anywhere else in the world, that is true. You know, the Vimeos, Dailymotion, Yahoo Video, any other sort of video website does not deal with the volume that YouTube does. So you could say there, well, you don't understand how hard it is to have human interaction. You don't understand how hard it is to have this managed properly because you don't understand the scale and the scope of what we're working with. But the reality is that when it comes to merchant services, you actually do, because in the early days of Google Checkout, there's no way in hell they had the volume of transactions or volume of customers that Chase Payment Tech or PayPal did. Yet PayPal and Chase Payment Tech are very able to have a person that you get on the line that you can talk to. Again, you may not be happy with their answer, but there's a person on the line you can speak to. And if you look up merchant services processing, and you know all the information that you have to have on file with the government and state and city agencies in order to legally do that in that area, you bet your ass that PayPal and Chase Payment Tech had a working number. So when I hear them say, well, you don't understand, we can't provide good service because it's too hard, I don't believe them. Even though it's something that seems believable, because whether you like it or not, the reason that there's no real alternative to YouTube is because nobody's figured out how to make it profitable. Nobody else has that. That's the reason none of these other platforms have grown to that size. In other industries, Google has shown that they're willing to go as far as to break the law to offer crappier services than other businesses. So I don't have a lot of sympathy for them when they wind up deleting people's accounts over the most trivially, or banning their entire account or locking them out of it, over the most trivial of matters that should have never made it that far. And with me, I make sure that my stuff is somewhere else, and I know that my Vimeo account is a little messy, so I got to work on that tonight, kind of fix it up, make sure it's more easy to find videos by certain topics. I've tried to do that with the board repair stuff at boards.rossmangroup.com. Honestly, lately I haven't been great with it. I just throw up stuff when I have time to. You know, I haven't been good with copying to both platforms. A lot of the times I've only been copying to one platform. But I'm going to re-download all my stuff in original quality since Google gives you the option to do that. Make sure every single last one of them is available somewhere else. And just keep in mind that when it comes to these platforms, YouTube pays me to upload video. Vimeo, I have to pay to upload video. So YouTube gives me thousands upon thousands of dollars for using their platform to upload videos, whereas Vimeo charges me thousands of dollars to use their platform to upload videos. And I would still prefer that you watch my stuff on Vimeo to watching my stuff on YouTube, which should say pretty much everything I need to say about what I think about Google as a company. You know, they may offer a lot of free services, but I honestly, like in my heart of hearts, I probably trust Apple more than I trust Google. Really do. So about that's it for today. I can't hit the record button on the phone to stop it from recording because my finger is frozen. And I'm afraid if I stick it out to do that, I won't be able to get my hand back on the throttle. So I'm going to wait until I stop. That guy really needed to pass everybody here. That was very important of him. Alright, so we're in traffic here, so yeah, I might as well show you the benefit of a Bafang here. Look at this. See this? See this right here? When you're waiting in traffic and it takes you 40 minutes to get from one side of Manhattan to one side of Midtown to the other side of Midtown, Bafang, I'm telling you, this thing is fucking amazing. It's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. All right.